Hello guys, today I'm talking about Python automations, which will be useful for every infrastructure guy. So most of the time my work and I experienced in the infrastructure only, where my total experience is around 16 years in IT, and most of the time I worked in Fusion middleware and Oracle products days. And I also worked on IBM WebSphere side. Python automations I worked. So based on that experiences, I collected some of the sequence of learning path. So here I'm coming with basic understand what Python, how we can start the Python. So I just prepared what is Python in this slide, today's slide. So before going to that, you please explain why you are opted Python and what is your purpose.
So like my main intention for the Python is to do the lot of automation stuff. So as the technology is getting very boost up, so many of the work, many of the manual things are going on to the automation. So I thought to take the Python training and do some lot of automation stuff. So as the market demands, like all we know that the Python has a lot of demand in the market. In any kind of scripting and the coding language, the Python has become mandatory. That's the reason I thought to take the Python training and to build up my skills and do some automations.
So you have any knowledge, basic idea about Python?
No, I don't have like any knowledge on the Python. I need a scratch training from the what is the variable, what are the strings, and so and so on.
Sure, definitely I'll do that. So how about you, Imam?
It's the same with me too. So I'm like totally new to this, and I have been
So
just
what
like
you are
want.
doing, Imam? Your job role and what kind of work?
I'm working as a manual tester in one of the companies here. So I wanted something technical to be on my side, so I opted for this training.
Okay, great. Thanks. So that is about my basic my experience as I explained. So it's a 16 years experience. So what we are going to have a prerequisite for doing this course. So one thing you must have basic understanding whenever we are starting the Python. So Python is a strictly indentation oriented. So indentation oriented means it doesn't use flower brackets, it doesn't use semicolons. Unlike other programming languages, C language or Java, they use as flower brackets to make the blocks. And whenever you are completing one statement, it is going to follow semicolon in that. So here, if you are going to give semicolon, means you want to add another line in the same line. For example, you have one variable declaration, x is equal to 10 you are given, and y is equal to 20 you want to give. So in the same line you want to give, then after x is equal to 10 semicolon, then y is equal to 20 you can give. Anyway, don't worry, I'm doing everything in virtual. So yeah, that is how.
So you mean we have to use semicolon all the time?
That is what I'm saying. So it is a tense when you are having multiple lines, you want to write in a one line, multiple statements in one line. In that case, semicolon is required. Otherwise, you don't require semicolons in the Python. So that is anyway, we are discussing every program structure, Python program structure, syntaxes, how we build, what is a if condition, how we have to write, what is a for loop, how it is structured. All those things we try to learn in this course. Okay, so first thing is the blocks which we are going to have, we don't have any flower brackets. So blocks we are going to build with the tab spaces. So when you are going to set the tab spaces, you can use 4 spaces as a tab, or you can use 8 spaces. So anything is fine, it will accept. And sometimes people also write with a single space tab setup also. It accepts. So three options we have for making a block. Anyway, we'll come to that block settings and all those things. No worries about that. Okay. Yeah. The second thing which I just want to make sure that whenever you start working on the program, so the program is going to have one specific path, like you're preparing one automation script. So all the automations related to that particular task, we're going to make one directory. And within that directory, you're going to build some collection of programs so that it will be accessible within that main program which you are going to make. So every file which we are going to make in Python, we are going to have the extension as a .py. Okay, so py is for our reading purpose we are putting py. .py is Python extension. Okay, and pyc is going to generate automatically for us. So what is pyc? We'll come to know at the last slide of this session. Okay, so terminals, we are going to work in the Linux. We are going to have terminals. So whenever you open putty or something, it will have some command line connections, right? So we are going to have some basic idea how to use the terminal. I hope you both already have that knowledge, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's nice. What is your system settings?
So I didn't got what my system setting. It's a Windows 10.
Windows 10. Okay, great. And in your project, are you using Windows systems or you are using Linux systems? If
So
you are
in my environment, it's completely the Linux system.
Linux, what Red Hat Linux or Ubuntu?
Like no, we won't use any Ubuntu, Red Hat and CentOS.
Oh, okay, great, fine. So you can build your virtual box and you can make one CentOS box. On that one, we can start working on it, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So in your Windows system, you can make the code and the syntax will be highlighted. If you have Visual Studio Code, that will be more easier to edit. Generally, people use Notepad++, who are long into the IT. They are using Notepad++, but now people start working with the latest Microsoft Visual Studio Code. So that is giving much more easier way to work on, and it is a simplest editor. Okay, so basic thing is you must prepare a setup for the way you can run the Python. Okay, so system should be ready and editor should be ready. So these are the two requirements. System requirements.
So will you help us for doing these things?
Sure. So first you bring up the CentOS box and I'll let you know how to do that. Okay, so generally what, yeah.
So we have to download the CentOS, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you hold for a second, I will start downloading the CentOS. Meanwhile, it will.
Okay. And
What
is the CentOS what version you're working? 6 or 7? 8?
7 version.
7. Okay. Yeah. So when we start working on automations, what to automation, where we are going to get scope. The first important thing, most of the file systems, most of the things which are related to the backups and systems where we are going to have the archive files, which are based on the time, date, these are the things. So we need to consider all these things and understand what we can make better. And so that what is a repetitive task also we need to identify. So if you identify such kind of things, and we can start working on the Python based iterations, repetitive tasks, and we can start working on the small pieces. Once we build blocks, and we can make the bigger and huge automation on based on that one. And we are going to have some files where we are going to require to read the data. So the data may be connecting to the database and data sets you're going to work, and you want to bring up the data, you want to see the data, then we have a couple of web frameworks. So Python supports a lot of open source frameworks. So it is going to have most popular one is, as you already mentioned, that Flask, and Django is another framework which is most commonly they are using. Okay, so Flask and Django, they are in popular Python web frameworks, web UI. So where you can access from the browser. and you can see the data, you can enter the data, and it will go into the databases. And what kind of database you are going to use in your projects?
So my main database are MySQL as well as sometime MariaDB.
Okay, fine.
But mostly I use MySQL. The Python has inbuilt database, right? SQL Alchemy.
Yeah, SQLite 3 is a built-in database. So SQLite 3 is it's a small size of database which will fix.
Yes, it's for the testing. I know that.
Yeah.
So during the initial testing, we won't attach any databases. After the when it's into the developments and when we are moving to the production, right? So at that time we are attaching the databases.
MySQL. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll see that dataset operations also, and we'll write some programs related to the datasets.
Write files for the dataset. Dataset means writing the code for the databases.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So automating file, folder, and terminal interaction with Python in the sense?
As I mentioned, the backups, recovery, archive. So these are all comes into automations of and folders. Whatever regular tasks which you have, that we can collect from there. We can accordingly we can plan. आपको जो भी ये करना है, automate करना है. Whenever you thought this is the things I have to sort out, then आप उसी के हिसाब से बोलिए, then we can work on those codes. Okay, so sometimes you need to allocate. You are saying something?
No.
Yeah. So when you're working on Python allows modular programming. So modular programming works with the directories and subdirectories. So some sort of functions we are going to keep in one directory, and all those functions will be again reusable in another project or another automations. Then we are going to use this subdirectory into another project. So like that we can organize and reuse it. Okay. Automating when you're going to do some not only files and directories, not only database. If you go for the processes, you want to control something, you want to start, stop, or you want to see the how the processes are running. That is also you can check from the Python scripts. So that is we can make and we can work on it. So each task, it is going to have some scope with the modules which are libraries available. Accordingly, we have to explore the functionality, and then we can use in our scripts. And we can preserve information after the execution, means the logs generation. So whenever you run the script, what is happened in when you run the script? Something happened at the so-and-so time, 10 o'clock, you want to execute this automation script, it has happened and we don't know it is successful or failure. So that is not the way. So what you need to do, you need to preserve whatever happening inside that. Whenever the script is executed, you have to keep tracking that one, everything went well or not, that is written into a log file. So that is also we are going to track. So whenever you do the automations, this is all basic steps we consider. Okay. Yeah. So what we are going to work on, that is Python 3, because as you mentioned, you want to go for the Flask. So latest Python version supports the Flask. So I worked on Oracle NS, so I have that same slide picture. So don't worry. So we can work on CentOS. It is also a Red Hat flavor. So all Red Hat flavors follow the same steps to install Python. So by default, whenever you go for Red Hat flavor, it will come with the Python 2.7. 2.7 is a version, default Python version available in the Linux machines. And we need to upgrade that one. Existing Python 2.7 to 3. So latest, whatever the 3 version we have, to that one we have to upgrade. So how to do, I'll tell you in the next session whenever you available with your system. All right. So what are the prerequisites to install Python? So pre-installation steps, your Linux system, whatever you are planned, that should be up and running. So, but when Windows operating system, it is going to work with the IDE. So Windows is having Windows IDE, and that will work. I think this number version is changed, but don't worry. So 3 point whatever the latest version. So if you go to the Python site, python.org, it is going to show the latest version of the Python 3 version. Okay, so there you can find what is the latest for Windows or what is the latest for the Linux. Okay, so in this session, what we are going to learn overall. So what is Python? What are the different programming structures? Programs are scripting. What is the difference? And the history of a little bit Python, not much. Scope of Python, where we can apply, who can use the Python, and what is a simple sample code, how we can run, and execution of the Python program. So this is the overall agenda for today's session. Okay, so moving on, what is Python? So whenever you see programming languages, there are different programming languages. Some languages, they work at machine level. Some will work with the drivers, something work with the kernel, something work with the applications or general purpose. So Python is a general purpose programming language, and it is often applied in the scripting roles. Whenever you go to the operating system, Linux operating systems or Windows operating system, any platform you can go, Python will work. Okay, so Python is a programming language. It's a general purpose scripting language. So there are two different things, scripting languages and compiler languages. So scripting languages uses interpreter. Interpreter means it doesn't have a compilation process. Whenever you run, that time only compilation also happens. Compilation means what? Checking for the syntaxes. So whatever the program you have written, it is going to check at the time of running the program only. Okay. So once it is error free, no syntaxes errors are there, then the program will be executed. Interpretation will happen line by line. Compilation will happen, entire file will be scanned, and whatever the errors are there, if I'm having 10 errors, all the 10 errors will be displayed when you are running the compilation. So C program or Java program, what you are going to have, all the hundreds of lines of scanned, and you are going to get the errors at bulk. So that is not there in the Python. The first error wherever you encounter, that one will be stopped, and there it will be showing, because some of the errors, the problems, we are going to have the chain reaction. So first error, first variable you are not correctly mentioned, and remaining all the program is using something else, and it is having the interconnection. So in that case, what happens? Program language will show some 20, 100, some number, big number of errors. Whereas in scripting, first error only it will be showing, and so that you can focus on the exact error and it will be resolved, and entire program will be move on. Okay, so that is the advantage of scripting languages. So what is the actual differences? So a program execution, that is source, whatever you are writing a program, .c, .c++, .java, whatever. So that is the source program, and that will be compiled, and a result of that compilation is expected. It is expected compilation. So once compilation is success, then you can go for the execution. So the program in general is a sequence of instructions. Same thing in Python also, we write the sequence of instructions. Okay, so the instructions are written in computer, where we are going to use some editor, and it can be performed that particular task. It may be reading file, it may be checking the data correct or not, or it may be something which you want to check for the bulk data. You are having one folder, all the logs are collecting at one place, you want to check. So all these are all different common tasks which we can perform from the program. Okay, so a script. Script is going to work with the interpretation. It is going to check one by one, line by line, and then a script code written in any scripting language. If you take the other than Python, Shell is a scripting language, Bash is a scripting language, and KSH is a scripting language, PHP is a scripting language, Python, Perl is also scripting language. So these are all scripting languages. So a scripting language is nothing but a type of programming language. It inherits the same style, writing program, how you write in the program, C or Java. Same way here also you can write, in which we can write the code and it will control another software application. You can make another software with the base of the script, this Python scripting also. Okay, so that that is the basic differences between the programming and your scripting language. Okay, in a high level, what is this Python? Who started? Where it is started? So it is started in Netherlands in Europe in 90s, and who created? Guido van Rossum is he started this Python programming language as his project in his graduation. So he is given the name as a Python because he was interested in looking at one of the famous Netherlands show, TV show. Its name is Monty Python Flying Circus, and it's a open source. Anyone can add and anyone can modify the Python functions. That's why it is open source. Open sourced programming languages to most popular, Java and this Python. So now Java is gone with the Oracle, and Python still open source. Anyone can contribute. That's why Python modules, Python functions, libraries are keep on growing. Okay, so still Van Rossum is the owner for community, Python community, and he is maintaining this one. So Python, when he started working on developing that time, he don't have the much freedom in programs. So C program or C++ at the time it is, he doesn't feel that this programming language has not having much bigger scope or having the internet capabilities. That time they focused on only Unix based, Unix related capabilities in the C or C++, memory related interconnections, inter-process communication. Those things are focused in the other languages, and Java came with the most high capability, that is IP4. So internet capabilities are included. So when Java is working with the internet capabilities, Python is also started working in the network capabilities, and it is also having a lot of functions libraries. Okay, so that is what they this Van Rossum included this one, and he developed most of the capabilities which are not there in the C and other shell scripts. Both he checked Bash what it is not able to do, or KSH what it is not able to do. Find all those mistakes and what C programming is able to do, and include all those into the Python. That is what he made. That is how he prepared the Python. Okay, so another language, why we are making, why I have to learn programming language. This is what the questions that time people ask. So he told all whatever the disadvantages in other languages, other programming, other scripting languages. So whenever you use much time to develop, then it is always expensive, and it takes longer time to develop, and developers time also it is consuming, means it is obviously time consuming, cost consuming. So that is what he resolved with the Python. So Python is so simple, easy to learn. That's why Python is used in lot of areas. So what is the scope of Python? So you can see Python in science, bioinformatics, or system administrations in Unix administration or Linux administration, WebLogic, WebSphere. All these are using the Python for their administration of the servers. web application development, as I told you, there are a lot of scope, lot of frameworks are came into that. I cannot list out all of them. So that's why I just put how they can work. So Java is much popular with the JVM because write once, run anywhere. That is a focus point. It's the same thing want to use with the Python. So Java with Python is known as Jython. So that is also successful, and most of the servers they are using that one. And testing, a lot of testing scripts are very simple, easy to learn with the Python. Okay, right now all 2021 people are telling about artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science. These are the mantras. People are getting a lot of jobs in these areas. So all these are having separate modules, functions, learning scopes, learning paths separately. So cloud-based automations, most of the AI and Azure or Google Cloud platform, they are having their own separate packages. So if you take AWS is having one separate package that will work on Lambda, AWS Lambda. Boto 3 is a package. And AWS is also supporting IoT. So Internet of Things, that is also working with Python base. So if you know Python, you can understand what are these packages, modules, etc. All right. So why people are opting using this Python? Python basically it is object oriented. So you are having a lot of other languages. Why Python is having a special or simple, easy? So first thing is the writing, whatever you write in the Python, that is simply English-like language, and it is having not much lines, number of lines. If you compare with Java, if I write something in 20 lines in Java, that can be written in 1 line in Python. So that is a scope. And the structure of Python, it supports, as I told you, object orientation. Object orientation is having 4 important pillars. So in that one, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, and the identity which you are going to have here, all these are basic pillars. So here Python is also supporting database connections, and when we are working on the couple of programs where we are going to learn something like operators plus equal to or plus plus, these are the operators which are coming from the C or C++. So or in Java sometimes. So those operators also can be overloaded. Means generally what you do, A plus B, that is A value, B value will be added and you are going to get the result. But what is A plus plus? Or something you are going to say A plus equal to some variable X, then what happens to that one? So these are the things which are overloaded with how to work with this operator. That functionality will be already built in the Python. And multiple inheritance. So parent-child relationship which you can build, that is we are going to call inheritance. So multiple chain reaction, chain inheritances we can make in the Python. And it is very simple. You don't need to write every time the inheritance. The simplest colon will follow. Anyway, don't worry about how to write that and all those things. So we'll come to the syntaxes and learn all those things. And Python is completely indentation based. So 1 space or multiple 4 spaces or 8 spaces, that is the indentation which you're going to use the Python. It's a free, as I told you, you can download and use it in your any system. On Windows you can use, on Linux system, any Linux you can use. Okay, so downloading and installing Python is free and easy. Source code is easily accessible. You can download, some codes are available on GitHub also, and you can use them directly, and in your functionality, in your code, you can use them. Yeah. So guys, are you following?
Yes, just go ahead.
Yeah. So another set of features of Python. Python is very powerful and type. So whenever you use the variables in C or C++, any programming language, we are going to tell that what type of data we are using. So int x is equal to 10. That is how we are going to use generally. So whenever you want to define some variable, you are telling that it is an integer type or string type or some float type. So the type you are going to mention in the programming languages. But in dynamic, that is scripting languages, don't require. In scripting language, everything dynamic. Once you assign the variable, according to the variable data, it will convert that variable. You don't need to tell that one, it's an integer or a string, anything. Okay, so that's why it is called dynamic type variables. Okay, so built-in types, there are some set of types which are supported. Python objects we are going to call, and they are accessible, or whenever you run the Python shell, it will be available and it is accessible as a tool. Okay, so library utilities, where Python is having, it's a separate library. Whenever you install Python, Python directory will have a lib folder separate. So all those libraries we can have, and some of the libraries we are going to call third-party libraries. We are going to add it. So as per requirements, we can keep on adding the functionalities. So if you go for the Flask is one of the third-party utility. It's a web UI. Okay, so NumPy, SciPy, these are all different Python-based modules which you can add and you can use in your Python. So core Python is different, and extra functionality you want, then third-party libraries you need to include in that. So automatically, when you're working on these Python functions, one package manager we have to use. That package manager is PIP. Okay, so Python installation package manager, PIP. So that will be used when you want to install a third-party libraries, third-party utilities. And it is portable. Once you write one program in Windows, the same thing you can run on the Linux also. So that based on the, if you are not using any paths, that is the most important thing. Okay, so if you are using some path in Windows and you want to execute that one same thing in Linux, that won't work. Okay, so that is a portability side. And as long as you have a compatible Python interpreter, install on Python programs, and you can run, you can exactly write whatever the manner, whatever the sequence you want to make, that you can develop in Windows system, and you can put into your Linux system and execute that one. So irrespective of platforms, so we can run on any platform. All right, so who can use this Python today? Python is being applied to real analysis projects, so revenue generation products, and real companies where they are going to use, for example, Google is working with the extensive use of Python in web search. So web search, whenever you go for the YouTube and you search for some videos or some songs, all these are happening with your Python only. So Python is searching, and it is giving the lot of data structures internally works and gives the output. So search capability is used in the in Google. And other than Google, Intel, Cisco, Hewlett Packard, Seagate, Qualcomm, lot of companies are there. So I am not listing all of them. So they're all using for hardware testing also. So some of the driver programs, C is basic, but in Python is also work underneath the driver programs support for that hardware testing. Okay, and Python is also supports the end user customization. The tools is popular with GIS, maps, and whatever you are getting as a maps, that is works with the ESRI library. YouTube videos, sharing services, upload, download, everything is working with the Python only. It is written completely in Python. Okay, so let's see one small program and how we can understand what is the scope of this program. Okay, so when you are going to write a program, a variable, so I'm going to say x is a variable, and then we can directly assign an expression in the Python. expression means you can do some calculation and set the output to that variable. So x is equal to 34 minus 23. Then 34 minus 23, whatever the result is coming, that will be stored in x. Okay, so then how we can comment in the Python? You can use hash and followed by the message, whatever you want to give in the English. Okay, so comments can be given in a separate line. You can give in the same line also. Sometimes you want to understand this variable, why we are going to give, what is the purpose of this one. Then we mention that in the same line. And whenever you want to store the variable with string, then we are going to use the three options we have for strings. Okay, we will discuss more detail about this strings, how many ways we can give, assign, and all those things. So at the moment, hello. Hello is a string which we are going to use. So let me just go to my terminal. Of course, it is not your CentOS. Let me just. Okay, this is. Okay, so I have Python here. So how to check Python is there or not? So Python, you can just check Python version, and Python 2 versions are available in most of the Linux. So Python, if you want to go with Python 3, then Python 3 hyphen version. So the operating system which I am running, that is Ubuntu, and it is having Python 3.8.6 available in this system. Okay, so how I can run Python? So if I'm going to just say Python 3, I'm entered into the Python shell. Okay, so Python shell, in this shell, the prompt is changed triple greater than. Okay, so here you can give any Python command and understand. So scripts first execute the command, it works, then put into the program. That is how we start working and learning. So you can write any variable and you can give any number. So I'm just saying x is equal to 10, and you can just say x, and it will display the content of that variable. And you can also say x. What is this x? So x is stored at one particular identity, that is in the memory. So this is the ID where it is stored. Okay, and you can also see what type of x it is. The variable x is integer type. Okay, so that class type, it is clearly mentioning that it is an integer type. Okay, so if you are going to say something, let's say y is equal to 10.5. So it's a floating value, right? So whenever I'm just saying y, it is clearly tells that what type of data it is having. Okay, and then if I'm going to say name is equal to Sabil. So we can use the variable directly, and you can see that Sabil is stored in the variable. And sometimes you want to store a couple of lines in the statement. Okay, so let's say st is equal to double quotes. We can use single quote also. We can use. So you can see you can store the variable, but internally it will show certain single quotes one. But you can add, you can use, you can interpret that double quotes also in program. Okay, and sometimes you want to check is that true or false, something is correct or not, right? So I just want to show one example. If I want to check that x is having 10, right? So x equal to 10. Okay, so whenever you want to test something, if this is there, then the block starts. In the next line, you can see the 3 dots. So when the block is started, you can use single quote or tab space, and 8 spaces or 4 spaces. So block, whenever you're starting, here you are going to put colon, 2 dots. दोनों of them. So I just want to increase this value. X is equal to x plus 1. Okay. And then I want to add something else. You want to give any other things also you can. So print x I just want to give. And
So what's the difference between like block and the upper part here? So
block
is it program starting, right, starting from the dots?
the block starting. We're going to get this thing like x is equal to 10 true, then it will enter into this block. Yeah, so whenever I tested this one, I don't know this what is the syntax of this one. Then it is saying how to use this one. So whenever you try to do something wrong, and it will tell in the terminal itself, and you can use it. So here it is saying, did you mean this one? So use this one so that it will be within the same block. If it is, then it will be interpreted. So unexpected indentation. So if you're not given correct indentation, then it will be throws the error. So how much space you are given earlier, same space give, and after that give the print x. And if it is not included in that block, so right now we are not writing in a program, it is in the terminal. So that's why it is having this trouble. So anyway, we can exit from the terminal, and we can write in the program one folder, and we can write in the .py program. Okay, so anyway, we can see this simple sample example of this simple x value and check that one. Okay, so test.py and say here insert. You guys aware of Python VI editor, right? Is comfortable?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm just using the same variable x is equal to 10 and y is equal to hello. Then I'm just using that z is equal to 3.45, and then I want to use the if condition. If z is equal to, I can check any variable x is equal to just I want to check x is equal to 10 or not. If it is, yeah, VI automatically indents. You don't need to worry about that. Okay. So I want to increase the value x is equal to x plus 1. I want to increase. You can give any number. So now y I want to include. So here y is having a string. So hello is there, and after that I want to concatenate. So this plus is different and above plus is different. So plus is overloaded now. Previously plus is only numbers addition. Now what it is doing in this line, y is y plus word. Okay. Word. So, and you can also add a comment here. Concat. So it will do concatenation here, and I want to print x value, and I want to print y. Okay. So whenever it is true, then only it is going to do all these things. Here, the end of the if condition. So you can see the block. After the colon, tab is used, and after that, this block is completed. If you want to tell something else, then again else colon, then you press the enter, automatically it will give the tab. Okay, so print x is not equal 10. So it never print because x is always 10 in our program. Okay, fine. So this is a program, and you can say Python 3 and then test 3. So that's how we can test. So what is happened in the program? Cat test. So in this program, x is 10 and it is validating. It is checking that x is equal to 10. If it is x is equal to 10, then increase that value with 1. So x plus 1, that is stored here, x. And y is plus with what? So whenever you are interpreting with the string is concatenating. So first time we are given single quote, next time we are giving double quotes. It will concatenate, and you can see the output. Hello world is coming here. And when you are working with the terminal, it will show whatever the command you are using, the variable will be displayed. But in the program, you cannot say directly print x, print y you have to use. So print brackets x, the variable we have to use. Okay. And if you see this syntax on my slide, this is Python 2 version, 2.7 version. Python 3 is always uses the brackets for print. Okay, so like that, there are some basic minor changes, but anyway, don't worry about all those things. So what we are going to learn in our course is we are going to understand the code structure, indentation. Just now we have seen block structure, how we can make that indentation based on the single space or 4 spaces or 8 spaces. First assignment to the variable creates. So how we can create variable, how many types of data variables we can store. You just try that one. Python figures out automatically the variable type and it is going to owns that data. We have seen that, right? So type command will tell that what is that one. Assignment, we can assign the variable value using the equal to. Comparison we can do with the double equal to. And for number, we can use any operators. These are all operators we can apply on the number values. Special use of plus string, which will concatenate. We have used that hello plus world. So plus symbol is used for concatenation of strings. And sometimes strings can be used for the formatter. Format will be replaced with the percentile. Percentile, what variable you want to replace. So it is a C style of printing statement. So anyway, that is also we can see in other set of examples. So logical operators, when we are going to work the word and when you are going to work with the symbols, all those things, we will see what type of operator where we can use. The basic printing statement we have seen, right? Print is a function, default function for outputting of your Python program. Okay, so coming to the end of this session, so how the Python is actually executed. So I have written one small program test.py. So how it is executed? That test.py is a source code .py. Whenever it is going to interpret, it is going to convert into bytecode, and bytecode always creates .py. So .pyc is a bytecode, and it will be used as whenever it runs the program, all the scanning of the program is completed successfully, then it will run on the PVM. So Python virtual machine, it will be creates and it will runs. So that is a runtime. After running into this one, inside the RAM, it is going to create this PVM, and there you are going to get the variables X and Y and Z, whatever you define in the program, and that will be executed. Okay. So in this flow, the libraries will be attached at the time of the binary bytecode creation. Okay, so there's any questions so far in this flow?
No.
No. Okay, so all good. Then you can also work on some set of commands and all those things. So Python is having a lot of capabilities. One is its data storage is bigger than any other language. Okay, if you are going to see NASA is using Python because of its highest capability of storage. If you go for the integer, int is having limitation in C program, int is limited in the Java programming. But whereas in Python, the data, according to the data you store, it increases the bytes automatically. That is a specialty. Okay, once you open the interpreter, you can run multiple commands. Okay, you can create list of numbers, list of names, list of anything we want to use, so that we can use with the square brackets. And quantity is stored in the memory that we can retrieve in the terminal. So whenever you use with the triple greater than symbol in the terminal, we can execute, you can get the value, you can retrieve the value. Okay, you can also calculate the values like so if I'm going to use a Python, Python 3. Here I can just simply say 1000 plus another 1000. So the result, whatever you want to get, that result immediately you can get. You can do any calculations on the Python terminal. So that is advantage. And you can also assign some string values. I am saying here the list also you can add. So let me just go with another example list. Yeah, so this is a simple list. What we have, X is having a list of numbers. So we can also have a list of numbers and names combination also. Okay, so I can say 101. Okay, so this is a combination of number and your string. So you can use it, and whenever you want one specific thing. Okay, so I want to get only Sabil, then the index value you can use 0 for the first number and 1 for the second. Okay, so I just give y of 1. What I'm going to get? What is the question here? Index is starting from 0 and it will go on. So if I'm going to say y of 1, I'm going to get the second value. Okay, so
It will start with 0, yes. Okay, 0, 1, yes.
So 0 is 101 and 1 is sub. Okay, so simple. It's like array of data. So that's all from my end, guys. Any questions?
So like have much questions because everything was much oral right today. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what your expectations and what you want to do and how we want to go on? What is the plan? Let me know.
Sure.
All right. So I'll stop here today's session, and yeah, anything on that, you just please share on your WhatsApp group. If you are following, give me the feedback and positive feedback expecting. All right. So I'll stop sharing.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay.
Guys. I can stop. Bye.